Icon 50.
Okay guys, so like I said, I grew up with elders, and growing up with elders I learned a lot of things, and this is one of the things that I learned. This is a homemade lift that I use, and why I use this as a board, because it won't break anything or bend anything that's metal. And then I lift it up like this, guys, and I just kind of rest it and here just like that. You know what I'm saying? So when I put my torque converter back in while I'm spinning, it's not touching anything on the ground and scraping anything. All right, and then I gotta go find my breaker bar. My breaker bar here. See my breaker bar right here, guys. And I'm gonna take you around, and I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna put my breaker bar. Where I'm gonna put my breaker bar on, guys. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna put my breaker bar on, and this is a 18 millimeter. All right, right here. That's where I put my breaker bar, and I turn. And you don't want to turn counterclockwise. Always clockwise. Never you turn counterclockwise, guys. Never you turn counterclockwise. Never you turn the engine that way. Always go clockwise. Always go clockwise. And one of the things that I learned, and one of the tricks that I learned, is when you're turning this, if it gets hard, all you have to do is just open your coils, take your coils off if your head is on here. But I don't think I have too much pressure, too much compression in here, because I already took the cover off here, so the compression is going to come through here. But if I had the cover on here, then I would have to take my coil packs out, and I would have to take I don't have to take out all the coils, but maybe just one, loose one cylinder, and that way I have enough compression in here, so when I turn it, it releases out. You know what I'm saying? But since I'm not taking these off just yet. I'm going to change them, but not yet. I want to get everything on the back first and get my engine in, and then when I get my engine mounted and everything, then I can start taking these out and putting in the new ones. Because like I said, I bought, when my engine went out, unfortunately for me, when my engine went out, I already bought 6 new coils. I bought all the coils, and I changed my coils. I changed my fuel injectors, all 6-inch fuel injectors. These fuel injectors kind of look, I'm gonna gamble with them. The ones in my old engine, they're brand new, but they're aftermarket. So I'm gonna gamble with these, but I'm gonna change my fuel rail line. It's kind of rusty a little bit, and it broke off up here, so I'm gonna definitely have to take this whole piece off. I didn't want to. I was trying to see if I could clean it up, and let it stay just the way it is. But I definitely have to take it off because they cut all the wires. All the wires to my fuel injectors are cut, so I have to take it off in order to get to my fuel injectors. So I can, because they all cut, and I don't like to splice, and there's no room. They haven't even leave me with any room to splice. But if I can get it off, if I can get them out, because these are kind of a little bit hard to get out when you have no grip. So if I can get them out and get my original one back on it, you know, because I don't like to mess with my fuel injectors if they're working perfectly. 'Cause like I said, I rather, that's why a lot of times when I'm doing fuel injectors, I don't like to buy aftermarket fuel injectors. What I like to do is take the original ones out and clean them, because they're waste to clean them. So I like to take them out and clean them, soak them and clean them and blow them out and put them back in, and they work perfectly fine if you take the proper procedure and follow the proper procedures and steps to clean them. You can clean them, because I don't, if you're not buying the original OEM ones to put back in, the aftermarket one is a gamble, because they're not the same as the factory ones, because these factory ones, they work for, I mean, this is a 20-something-year-old engine and it's still working fine and everything. The reason why I changed mines is because my fuel injectors, like I said, I live in a sandy area, and what happened is that I think sand went up into the line, into my fuel rail line, and got down into my fuel injector, and it messed it up. So I had to flush my whole system out, the whole fuel line. I had to clean that whole thing, flush it out, and change my fuel injectors and stuff. And my engine haven't been working properly ever since I put the aftermarket one in it. So, you know, be careful of the aftermarket ones that you put in. But yeah, and then when you turn in them, when you turn in it, always make sure you turn it at a clockwise angle and not counterclockwise. Okay, guys. Alright, guys. Alright, I'm taking you guys on this journey with me, guys. And this is my torque converter right here. This is my baby right here. This is my baby. And this is, to me, the whole transmission, this is the most valuable and the most important thing to me, guys, than anything else on my transmission. My torque converter, my solenoid pack, and my valve body. Those three things. If they're working fine, I'm okay. And what I like to do, guys, I'm gonna show you a little trick that I picked up. Transmission fluid. Actually, this is ATF, guys, and I had made a mistake with the with my other transmission. This worked fine. Because they said this is recommended too. This is recommended. It's a Dex Merc automatic transmission fluid. But if you look up the 2009 and 2010, it's gonna show you ATF. Down here it's gonna show you ATF +4, and that's the original factory one that comes with your transmission that you're supposed to use. But this is also recommended, and I went at AutoZone and I bought this one, and it worked just fine. It worked just fine, guys. But why I did that just now is that in case there is any water or anything that's down in my torque converter, I could always do that, and it comes out. Alright, and if it comes out oily and solid, it simply means that there's no water in your torque converter. And if you look down and you see that it has bubbles or anything in it, then you know that water got down in your torque converter. And you could leave this outside for the next 10 years, 50 years. Once you turn it upside down like that, there will never be any water getting down in this thing.
How's it going?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Putting it back together and talking to my fans, showing them how to put back an engine together. They're keeping me busy and I'm keeping them busy.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was my neighbor Billy. Very good guy. So guys, you know, I just gotta remember where I put the 4 screws because I took them out, and I remember I put them at a special place that I can remember. I can have them whenever time I want, because if you lose these 4 screws, guys, you're gonna have to either go get the replacement ones or go to a junkyard, and I know I have them somewhere, guys, and I put them in a very safe place that I know that I can go and get all 4 of them. So let me go find them and I'll be right back. Okay, guys. And the bolts of your transmission, guys, they're also 18 millimeter, but the regular 18 millimeter wrench, they work just fine. But there's one at the back, and I'm going to show you as I go along when I'm putting it back together. There's actually one at the back that is hard to get to, and only a swivel wrench can get to it. So I went and got this at AutoZone, and this one wrench cost me $33. Just this one, not the whole set, just this one. And I have 18 millimeters, I have short one, long ones, but they're not swivel heads, and only the swivel head can work on that one particular bolt, guys. So, you know, always have your little swivel heads because they comes in handy, very handy. And I know I have the screws here, guys. I know I have the screws because I saw them up to this morning. I saw them, and I just remember that I'm talking to you. I just remember where they're at. They're right in here, guys. They're right in here, right in this little part right here, guys. And this is what I was telling you. This is also 8 millimeter. These are 18 millimeters, and these are good, very good. But you know, like I said, every tool have their purpose, because this is the one that's the adjust. You have the adjust on it. You could press that. See that? You press it, and it go both ways. But then it can't work in the area, that little area, that one bolt that screws back on your transmission to your engine. It can't work. You need a swivel head to go in there and put at an angle to tighten it up. And that one, your torque wrench can't get into there, so you have to, that one you definitely have to just use your discretion. You know, don't over tighten it, because you never want to over tighten your transmission bolts, guys. And so in here is where I kept these, because I lose one of these and my transmission and my engine means nothing. 4 little screws, and if I lose one, I'm gonna have, because they're special types, they're not just a regular, they're special types, guys. And I think they're also 18 millimeter. Yes, they're also 18 millimeter. See that? 18 millimeter. And there's a special way how you have to put them in, because when you put it in, there's a spot right here that you get to it, and you have to keep turning. You have to keep turning your harmonic balancer on the other side where you see I left my my 18 millimeter socket onto my breaker bar. Now that I think it's properly drained out, I don't think there's any water in it. Guys. And these little ear, it was starting to rust a little bit, so I'm just gonna take the number 3. You know, I'm just gonna, because like I said, the number 3 doesn't do any damage. You know, if you just want to clean it up and get the little rust off, because you don't want to put the torque converter on with any rust on it. So you make sure, you know, but you know that I could always do that when I'm done. You know, this is the most important part that I have to get lined up. And how I'm going to line it up, you see these holes right here, guys. These holes right here is where I have to get these holes into certain area, because it's the only that way you can get it on, and you have to do them one at a time. So, and I'm working by myself, so that's why I use my breaker bar. I could use my regular wrench, but I use my breaker bar because my breaker bar will, you know, work like 2 people. Now that I got this one lined up here, guys, I got that one lined up. It's not 100% in the center, but I got it lined up. And the trick of it is to catch these holes, and you have to catch them one by one. You can't catch all 4 of them at the same time. You got to get them one by one. All right. You want to make sure before you put this thing in that there isn't no dirt, no sand, no metal, no nothing in here that's gonna grind and affect the transmission. Some people like to just use a little sandpaper, like, and just clean it out, just to make sure it's nice and clean. And I like to do that as well, because I like to work with clean things. And what you see down in there is not really rust. It's some kind of chemical that they use to avoid it from getting rust inside, guys. And I got a little soft brush that I use. This is my little soft brush, guys. Then I use, and I can use my little soft brush, and I can clean it out, you know, make sure nothing is in it. Because right now my compressor is not working, so I have no air because my compressor is not working. So let me get you closer to show you what I'm talking about, guys, because I want you guys to see how I'm putting this thing back together. Alright, so first one, I'm gonna try to catch the first one here, and now that I've done that, I have to go back here, guys, and find the hole for this one. And once I get this one, I'm on my way, guys. These are all my work shirt turned into I don't know what. But the reason why I lift it up, guys, is because now that I lift it up, I can look underneath it and I can get the leverage. If it was flat on the ground, I couldn't get the leverage of it. And like I said, you don't tighten them up, you hand tighten them as much as you can. And if this engine is good and this engine is spinning the right way you're supposed to, you can use your hand to turn this thing all the way around. because I did it before with one of my engine that it was so free that I could use my torque converter. I could put a wrench on here and turn it, but I don't like doing that. I like to do it from the harmonic balancer, which is the proper way to do it, guys. And like I said, I don't tighten them all the way up. I just put them that it fits. I go back to my harmonic balancer, guys. I keep turning clockwise, guys, not counterclockwise, but clockwise. And the reason why I position myself this way is that I can turn and I can see what I'm doing. You can see the hole as it comes up. And I'm coming up to the next one. As I come up to the next one, put the screws back in. And like I said, guys, I like to put these screws at a place where I can find them, because you lose one screw, guys, you know you're gonna have to go out and get this whole set. And you want to make sure, that's why I said you don't tighten them up until you're sure that all the screws are able to go in. Because you don't want to, they're free, that they're supposed to be hand tightened. You're not supposed to be trying to use your wrench to tighten them. That's when you know something is wrong. You know, not all of them is going to go down by hand, but at least you get them halfway by hand, because you want to make sure this thing is properly balanced. So go again, you keep turning. Once you get all four of them in, then you can start tightening up. And like I said, guys, your torque wrench doesn't get into here to tighten up. Doesn't get into here unless I believe it should, because I have a big space right here. Normally the little cars has no space for the torque converter, so you have to use you just have to use your judgment. But like I said, you don't want to over tighten them either, because you over tighten them and then the next time you go to take a torque converter off, you can't take it off. You use your judgment. I went past one screw, guys, but I can't go back. I have to keep going around. I can't go back clockwise or counterclockwise. I gotta keep going clockwise until I get back to that one. Okay. And I almost passed this one again. That's how nice and free this engine is turning, guys. Nope. That's so nice and free the engine is turning, that is going around so fast, and I'm missing them. There's nothing wrong if it's a little too tight, but not that tight that you have to be straining your wrench to tighten the screws, because they're supposed to be hand tightened all the way down, but you have to get it down where it passes while you're spinning your harmonic balancer, that your screws is not touching on the back of your engine block. And like I said, I don't like to tighten them down too much because I have all the time in the world to do it the right and proper way. So I like to get my screws in first, and then I work my way from there, guys. And I'm going back now to the one that I missed. We missed. Yeah, we both missed it, guys. Okay. And I'd rather spin this thing 6 times, 10 times than go back counterclockwise. Okay, guys, I think I got it. Yep. I felt that last one. And I think the torque spec on these are 55 to 60 foot-pounds. And I'm gonna try and see if my torque wrench will get in there. I didn't check because I didn't have to use it to take them out, but I'm gonna have to use them to tighten them back up, guys. And you know, like I said, I'm a practical guy. I like to do my torque specs and do it the right way. So I'm gonna go see, take this off my harmonic balancer, put on my 18mm, and I even have 1/2-inch flex head, that if this doesn't work, my 1/2-inch flex head supposed to go up underneath there and do it. Nope, it's not gonna work, guys. So I'm gonna have to go the manual way. And that's where every tool is important, guys, because this is where this comes in, because this could tighten it up, but I'm not gonna get the grip that I need on it. So I use this to do my grip. See that? Now I'm gonna have to turn this the other way, because as I'm turning it, my harmonic balancer is also spinning. That's good enough, guys. Like I said, you don't want to over tighten these things, you know, because over a period of time they tighten by themselves. So you don't want to over tighten these things. You just want to tighten them, you know, away. Good enough. It's 2 down, guys. And then you have to know the 2 that you already did, so you don't keep on going around. Going around. So I did that, and that's why I position myself this way, that I can know the exact ones. But that's not a problem, because going around 7 times or 8 times is better than doing it once, because even after I tighten them up, I'm still gonna go back around and make sure they're properly tightened, each and every one, because you might think you tighten all 4 of them and you miss one, and then that one that you miss, once it starts to come out, then your torque converter is gonna come apart in your transmission. You don't want that to happen. Guys, all right, let's trade on, guys. Coming up to the last one. It's a good thing they didn't break this harmonic balancer, guys, because that would be, even though I have the harmonic tool to take it off, but I didn't want to go through all that problem. And I'm going to show you the old harmonic balancer that I took off the old one, because I had to take that off in order to get to my water pump and my timing belt. So this is the old harmonic balancer, guys. This is the old harmonic balancer. But I took off the old one, and God forbid if I should throw this thing away. This is going right in my toolbox, guys. Sorry. Yep, this is going right in my toolbox, guys. Right in my toolbox right now. I'm putting it right in my toolbox. I'm gonna put some lubricant. And this is what I use to lube. These are transmission fluid, guys. When I bought these, and these are the only ones that I use in my Volkswagen Jetta. It looks like engine oil, but it's not engine oil. It's actually transmission fluid, but it's recommended for BMW, Volkswagens, Audi, I think Mercedes-Benz, and I overbought them. I bought the whole case. It was $368 for the case, and 6 comes in it. But it's cheaper than buying one, because one is $86. One bottle is $86. You know, and you multiply 6 times 86, and you know, you do the maths. So I bought so much of them that, you know, and they just sit in here, so I just use them to just oil up my my bearings and stuff like that, you know, keep them oily and greasy. So when I do that, you know, I put them inside here, and I keep my keep them clean and rust free, just in case I might need them again. You know, this little part right here, and you guys probably wondering, why is he using a $86 bottle of transmission fluid to do that when he could just use regular engine oil? Because the engine oil is different from the transmission fluid. Transmission fluid is actually like a lubricator, you know, and it doesn't, you know, attract a lot of dust and stuff like that, damage and it, you know, parts that, you know, you're not supposed to be using it on. That's why I don't like using engine oil. I like using transmission fluid, and especially these type of transmission fluid, because it's not red. It's like because I have a whole bottle of a hydraulic, a whole 5 bucket gallon of hydraulic, and but I use my hydraulic fluid for my cherry picker, and I use it to, you know, lubricate other stuff. So I bought that, and it's very expensive, so I don't like to waste that. It's very expensive. A bucket of it is $750 for the 5 gallon. But I have to have it, because I use that to refill my jacks. I use it to refill my cherry picker and all that stuff. So, and then I do this now, and I take this to my toolbox, guys, and I know that that's out the way. If you look and you see I'm doing all these things by hand and I don't have on gloves, guys, it's because the real mechanic likes to feel the grease. A real mechanic, guys, trust me, he likes to feel the grease. And this is one of my flaws right here, that I always finish with my tools and I always just leave them laying about, and I need to do a better job and leaving my tools laying about. And I got this thing off Amazon, guys, and it's not that expensive. I only paid, you know, I think it was $47. I couldn't believe it. It's the harmonic balancer puller. You know, it comes with all the parts and everything that you put in it, and you put your 3 legs into your harmonic balancer, and you put this in, and you have the 4. It comes with 4 extension, 4 length extension, where you put it in here and you put it down in here, and it goes down into the harmonic balancer. And so you tighten, you go clockwise, it's pushing on the harmonic balancer and pulling it out. So when you screw this down, the extension is going and touching and pull it off of your flywheel. And then when you're done, you do the same thing clockwise or counterclockwise to put it back on. Some people just use a hammer and knock it down. Once you grease it, which you can do it that way, because before we had harmonic pullers and stuff like that, I used to see the older generation of mechanics, they used to knock that thing off, just use a heavy hammer. They used to call it sledgehammer, and you just put it and just knock it. And sometimes when they knock it too hard and they break the harmonic balancer and end up have to buy a new one. So the man or the woman or the child who invented this thing invented a good thing, man. You know, it's called harmonic balancer, guys, and you can find it on Amazon or eBay. I don't know how much is it on eBay. I trust Amazon 100%. A lot of times, do I get parts that I'm not satisfied with? Yes, but I could always send my parts back on Amazon in a timely manner, and they will refund me or replace it. With eBay, you have the money back warranty guarantee and stuff like that, but it takes a little longer. And you know, I have my Amazon Prime membership, so I get my things 1-2 days, because I was delaying to buy the steering wheel pump, because I wanted my engine to come first to see what has been broken. And if my if the engine had come and nothing was broken on it, then I wouldn't have to go out and spend $110 this morning just to get it. And it's not the pump itself that's bad, and I'm going to show you the original one that came on the original engine. Why do I have to buy it? Alright guys, so let me show you something real quick. Put this back up here. So this, guys, this is the original one, guys. It's the original one that came with my original engine, and if you can see, it's broken up here and it's broken here, but I'm not worried about that. I was worried about the inside, because the inside also have an end groove. They also have an end groove that the belt goes on, and I'm worried that when the belt start to spin, you know, most mechanics or most, you know, do-it-yourself guy would say, I'm not gonna change this, man. This thing costs $110. Once I put it on and I spin the engine and you get it running, I don't care if it breaks and somebody break the belt and leave them on the side of the highway whilst they're driving, but not me, man. You know, why save $110 that's gonna cost you thousands of dollars, guys? So you see, if you look in the groove, you see how it broke in the groove, and there's an end groove right over here on this side. There's an end groove that the belt goes on. So even though it's broken up on top, there's a groove that goes all the way out to the end that the belt goes on, like the inside here. You know what I'm saying? So I can't use this. This is no good. The pump is still good, and I also have the puller. I just don't know where it's at right now, but I had it because I had to do a job like this once. The guy, he wanted just the pulley to take off the pump, because the pump was actually brand new, but he was doing it himself. He was doing something himself and didn't know how to take the pump off, and he put a claw bar in between here and tried to pry it off, because he thought he could just pull out. And it's a special tool you have to use. It's just same like the harmonic balance. It's same like the harmonic balancer puller, but it's different. It's a little bit different. It's, you know, you leave this on the engine itself, or you can get a pump holder that you put it in the pump holder and you tighten it up that this doesn't move, and then you put the same screw in here and you turn it clockwise and this comes off, and you do it counterclockwise and it goes back on. But I mean, this piece alone costs $80-something, and the whole pump costs $110. So I just went out and got the whole pump, you know, and because I can't find the puller anyway, and if I can't find the puller, I'm gonna have to buy another set of puller, and the puller ain't cheap. The cheapest one I saw on Amazon was like $87, and that's the commercial industrial one, not the little homemade one, because you got to be careful, because they have some little cheap ones that they're selling that you put the spacer down in here and it breaks off down in here, and now you lose a pump and you lose your puller, because they're so cheap that when it tights, because once you start to tight, the tighter it has to get tight in order for this to come off, because this don't come off that easy. It's not just a screw and it comes off. You know what I'm saying? You got to put weight on this thing to get it off, and a lot of times I see it breaks right down in that little hole right here. The spacer that they put in it breaks, so gotta be careful, guys. So I mean, the pump is still good, and I'm not gonna throw away my pump. Like I said, I don't throw away parts, man. I don't throw away parts. I'm gonna keep this, throw this in my toolbox, and I know one day I might come back for this thing. And not only this, but the old one that I'm taking off this engine, I'm gonna have another one, so I'm gonna actually have two on it. See what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have two. Yes. So now that I've done that, I'm just gonna go double check again, go back one more time around, guys, and double check to make sure all these things are properly tightened and I didn't miss any. I'm gonna go get my I don't like to use this, because they said this, you're not supposed to use this to loosen or tighten. It's only to torque, and A lot of times I see people use them to tighten up their bolts and stuff like that, and they're worn out. This is only when you tighten your screw and you're gonna torque. So I'm gonna go for my other wrench. And see, I have winch that's straight head, but I like this one because this is a swivel head. You know, this get me in and out of places. So I use my swivel head and do it because it's reaching a stage right now where I don't want to keep on going around. So I could steer right from here now, and I could turn like that. I don't have to be worrying about the winch falling off. And you can, there's a hard way to do things and there's an easy way, and I don't see why I should have the tools and be doing things the hard way, guys. All right. So that's two down, guys. That's two down. And like I said, when I was dropping this engine, because I wanted to stay underneath the tree. But I should have, the box should have been here and the front head facing that way, and I would have a lot more space to work with. But Superman change in a phone booth, right? Yeah, Superman change in a phone booth, guys, and this is way bigger than a phone booth. So I work with what I have, guys. Okay. You see how easy my engine spin, guys? If your engine is not spinning like that, something is wrong. Your engine is seized or it's about to seize. And that's when you know you buy an engine and you're not even start the engine yet, and you know that you're gonna have problem starting the engine because your engine is seized or about to go seize. Your engine is supposed to spin freely. And what I did, I removed the cover, so there's limited, all right, compression coming from up here, because all the compression is coming out through here. I could take my coils off, and I could take my ignition coils and everything off here, but I don't like to do that. I rather take the cover off and let all the compression come out from my four heads right there. So that's how you get your torque converter back onto your engine block, guys. And never attempt to put your torque converter into your transmission. Never you put it in your transmission and then try to put it on here, because it will not work. It will not work. If you buy a transmission, they're gonna send you the transmission with a torque converter, but you have to follow this procedure. You have to put your torque converter back onto your flywheel before you can get it back into your transmission. You can't put it into your transmission and then try to attempt to put it back onto your car. You can do it, but it's gonna take you hours and probably days. And see how I did this? This just took me a couple minutes. So now when I'm putting in my transmission, all I have to do is just line up my torque converter and put it back in, line up my screws, and my transmission goes right back on my engine, guys. So that's how you do your torque converter onto your flywheel. So you do your torque converter onto your flywheel, guys. Look at that, baby. It's already ready to rumble. Already ready to rumble. See that? Nice and clean. And before I even put this thing back in, all these things gonna clean up. I'm gonna clean inside my transmission, and I make sure there is no sand. Like I said, we don't live in a dirt area, we live in a sandy area. And you know, sand and grease is the quickest thing to pick up inside of your vehicle. So you want to make sure none of that stuff is in there, guys. And I know I'm going to leave this for the night because I'm not going to able to put my transmission and my engine back together. I might attempt it, but you know, in the meantime I'm going to stuff the hole so bugs or anything don't get in, or in case I'm sleeping and it starts to rain. You know, I don't mind the outside of here, because if it rains, the grease on here, so the water won't damage here, because the grease on here, you know, it's dry but it's still greasy, so the water will run off. But this is what I'm concerned about. And I put this on so there's no water going in here, and if I'm gonna go to my bed and I'm not gonna finish, I'm gonna put the cover back on here.